Hey, what's up? How's everyone doing? So, yeah, keeping up what we promised, doing more daytime stuff, more daytime shows. Hope everyone's doing okay. Forgot to put on the ring light. So, I have this desk when I'm in this room, and I put a shock mount, I put everything, but for some reason, this mic stand and this desk conducts everything to the mic. Like, check this out. I touch I touch anything. I touch anything, it goes right to the mic. And as you can see, I got the shock mount and everything. Doesn't make a difference. Yeah, so I don't know why this thing conducts every single thing touched. Like, check this out. I'm gonna stomp on the floor and listen. If I kick the desk, yeah, I'm not sure what I can do about that, but it's when I'm in this office and at this desk that always happens. And it doesn't matter if I use the shock mount, like it picks up everything. I don't know if it's the mic or if it's the stand that I'm using in this room, but yeah. In the other room, the mic sounds perfect. I use it with the shock mount, and yeah, maybe it's the stand, maybe it's the table it's on in the other room, but anyway, it's really annoying. But Family Guy, what's going on? What's going on? Outlook, what's going on? How you feeling? And a lot of people around for the daytime. It's nice. Um, yeah. So tomorrow's election day, and I wanted to like share some stuff real quick. A lot of people, I think, um, have to learn more about local politics. And what I would tell people is there's a lot of easy ways to research local politics, and one thing I would straight up do is, you can do what I did, which is I straight up just Googled the term research New York City politics, and a bunch of stuff comes up. Ballotpedia.com is one site, but most states and cities have their own little sites. So, for example, in New York, when I researched, I put research New York City politics. Um, I got this site, who'sontheballot.org. I don't know if that's just New York site or what. I think it's a New York site, but I can show y'all an example of it. So when you go on who'sontheballot.org, it looks like this. And it says where my polling place is and all the different people on the ballot. Then you can expand each person, you expand each race, then look at the person, see what their websites are, so you can go to different people, you see their campaign websites, you can see all types of stuff about them. And yeah, so it's pretty good. You can find all types of information. I also think the mic might be too good. I mean, this mic picks up everything. I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't know if we need to lower the gain on it or what, but it picks up every damn thing. Um, yeah, so you can check people's websites, their Facebooks, their Twitters, their Ballotpedia pages. And this page, I think, is strictly strictly for mm, this page I think is strictly for New York. When I go on the page, it says everything you need to know about New York City elections. But the point is, like, just find the page for you. But I would recommend y'all an extra step and follow the race, see who wins in your local elections, or if you like the person. If you see a lot of stuff on their ballot that you like, but they lose, follow them anyway. And I would say this: go to um, Google Alerts instead of Google Alert for the people. So go to, say, you go to news.google.com, and I'm just gonna give an example. So I'm gonna give an example. So you go to just opening up Google's. Yeah, this mic picks up everything, right? Type the whole nine. But especially in this room, like in this other room, it doesn't do it as bad. And I haven't figured out why that is. But yeah, so here's Google News. One of the people in my district is Farah Sufran Forest. Put her name in. You get a bunch of stuff about her, right? And you can go down. I might have to sign in to do this, but basically, you can set an alert. Actually, there's a better way. If you go to alerts.google.com, I can do it there. And then enter your email, create an alert. I usually do at most once a day. I usually do automatic, and you can choose only the best results. If you're a masochist, choose all results, and only the best results. That puts it up to Google to choose what the best results are. But sometimes I like getting the random blog or news forum thread from a random weirdo. Some of those people, those hobbyists and enthusiasts, do some pretty good analysis. And if you do all results instead of only best results and you find out you're getting way too much stuff, you can always go back and edit the Google alert and turn it to only best results. So I usually like to cast a wide net first, and then depending on the results, narrow it down. But by doing that, you get to keep track of the person, the and news and all the things they're in the news for the whole time that they're in office. Or if they lose, you can track them for the whole time that they're trying to run again and see what they're up to and see if you can support them, things like that. So yeah, I would say that's a good way to do it because a lot of people want to get involved in local politics but don't know how to keep track of it. And even if your person loses, track the person who wins in Google News alerts because you'll be able to find out the challenges that are brewing against them. And you can also find out what that person's doing, even if you don't like the person. If they're representing you, you should be able to know what they're doing and what you don't like. Anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. That I think the presidential stuff is way more glamorous and way sexier and way more salacious and has a lot more drama in the news. But it's our responsibility to train ourselves to be more savvy about the local stuff. So I just wanted to give people like some tips that I use to keep track of local politics, and I think Google News alerts are a very good way. And get into the habit of actually looking at them because a lot of people just get them and stop looking. Um. Anyway, let's see. That's not all I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about something totally different now, and yeah, I guess people don't like the civil responsibility stuff. Like the amount of people just dropped in half. Maybe I should have led with what I was going to talk about now. Like there was like 60 something people in here and I cut in half. Like people were like, "Oh, f this." You want you to dunk on people. That's a shame, man. See that? This is why the discourse is bad. People just want to see the drama. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool. Let's see. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Um, I want to talk about something different, right? There's this type of humor that I just don't get why people think it's so funny, man, but it's ridiculous. Um, and the humor I'm talking about is thirsting for white penis. Like, and I want to make clear this is not me saying anything's wrong with, you know, dating whoever you want, but it's a certain type of humor that has gotten really popular in the mainstream, and it's especially women of color more than men of color, where they try to encourage these women of color to get famous by performatively debasing themselves through white thirst. And two examples, one of them, thankfully, maybe actually both of them have dialed it back, is for a hot second the big one was why am I drawing a blank on her name? Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany Haddish, around the time of Girls Trip, everywhere she would go, she would be performatively thirsting for white men. That was really annoying. And then Leslie Jones on Saturday Night Live. Someone said Jones and Jost. It's not just Jost. Everybody on the show, anybody white, any guest, Leslie Jones would be really, really thirsting on and embarrassing herself. And on Twitter, she would do it with people not on the show. Like it was just something. Like, I didn't think it was funny. Like it wasn't even like I didn't think it was funny just because it was offensive. There's offensive things that can be funny. I mean, it was just there was no joke there. I don't understand what was funny about it. Two Dope Queens, that's another great example where there's just like thirst, thirst, thirst. Look, isn't it funny how thirsty I am? Thirst, 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 thirst. And it's like the bag is not worth it at that point. I also don't think it's really. I mean, I wouldn't even mind if somebody was doing the thirsting for white men thing if they actually had like a setup, a joke, something funny, but they just do the thirst and think the thirst is supposed to be just funny on its own. Like it's just supposed to just make you laugh. Look, I'm thirsty. Like, okay. Like, is there an actual joke there? And I also wonder, like, what is it that white people find so entertaining to see a black woman or woman of color in general? Because it's not just black women who do it, but um, so entertaining to watch them debase themselves like that. But I don't get it. But there were a couple of recent examples that happened. I'm gonna see if I can pull some up. And Yeah, people get mad when when you call them out about it too, you know? So I'm gonna pull up real quick, right? So um this woman who writes for the she wrote for the Black Lady Sketch Show on HBO, and she could be a kind of nasty piece of work. She's really mean. But like people call her out for not being funny, and then she gets mad about it all the time. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, oh, yeah, Mindy Kaling, just to give an example of how it's not just a black thing, but yeah, she was very big into that. Yeah, the Queen. Also, when they did um when they did Stephen Stephen Colbert, and also a bunch of other people too. Um, I've never seen Robin Thede do it. I don't think I've never seen her do that herself. So I'm not saying anything bad about her. She's like a nice person, but that show she had, Black Lady Sketch Show, I just didn't think it was particularly funny. Personally, it's just my thing. But this woman wrote for it. This woman is pretty nasty, but her name, I'll put her up now. Yeah, it's not Robin Thede I'm talking about, but this woman is Rafat Sani, or she goes by Ray Sani, and she goes, "Friends, I need you to vote Trump out of office. See, I have this no white men under Trump rule, but I recently met a very handsome white dude, and I would like to kiss to would really like to kiss him. Vote blue on Tuesday, please." And she adds, you probably think this is a joke, but I'm dead serious." And you know, she keeps going on, and these people have a certain fan base that really likes. There's a certain fan base that really gets off on this whenever, like, they mention like thirsting for a white man. They're like, "Oh, white man's whore, kiki kiki kiki," and they put all these like sassy gifs, and then like there is a certain amount of people, a certain type of weird person that seems to get a endless joy out of these jokes, but most normal people are like, okay, it's not really funny. So there's a handful of people. A lot of them are white who, you know, Kiki and enjoy this, and she's going on with it. Do you have to wait until the inauguration, or will it be enough to know Biden won? It depends. I'm pretty confident he has a little crush on me back, so no need to wait. We can F during the lame duck period, you know. And someone responds, "Sis, we got you." Like, I did my research. She's one of the good ones. And then people started acting on her like cringe, and then she's getting mad. But it gets funny because a lot of people just started clowning her for being really corny, saying stuff like, that she stayed in the drafts, boo, blah, blah, blah. And she started losing it. She got pretty upset. Um, and yeah, I mean, people just, this is what started happening, right? So people like should have kept this in the draft. This is so effing embarrassing. Um, People brought up that she had a foreign flag. Um, People saying black feminist humor in quotation marks. Y'all are being parodies now. Someone put the things y'all tweet unprovoked, which is true. Like that joke. Nobody said anything, and then you just bring up something random. Um, yeah. So yeah, a lot of people like, "Girl, what the f is this?" Yes. Then a handful of people, as usual, like it. Like, well, Usher, this guy's being sarcastic. My Nigerian queen shaking my head. Um, yeah. So, but that's not the main part, right? It's how kind of nasty she got when people call her on it, and She just started arguing with people left and right about it. And including in this case, someone said people who think she is funny also think Jamel Hill is funny. I don't think people really think they're funny. Even the people who cheer them on. I think the people who cheer them on don't really laugh at things. This is gonna sound weird, but I don't think when you look at their jokes and what they laugh at, I don't think they have a humor chip in their brain. I don't think they actually know what's funny. That's why they can't make funny jokes. And being unable to know what's funny not only keeps them from making funny jokes, they can't actually perceive when something's funny. That's why if you ever look at them, they'll see something like Dave Chappelle and be like, that's not funny. He made a joke that we think is transphobic or sexist or this and that. And one thing I used to do was I would ask them, well, who do you think is funny? Like, let me know what your idea of funny is. And I would ask them, and a lot of times they wouldn't answer. Like one woman straight up told me, well, I don't follow comedy like that. So she didn't have anybody. But then the few that would answer, they would recommend someone. The person would just be just straight up corn, just corn out the wazoo. And I would look at the clips of the people they would send me, and the only thing they liked about the person was joking about stuff that they liked, like thirsting for white men, um, shit lib stuff, like stuff about boring liberal takes, stuff about diversity, stuff about Donald Trump, Orange Man, bad type stuff. It was just like kind of lame stuff, but I think they can't actually evaluate humor. They just know talking points and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of the problem. But I mean, to make it clear, because a lot of times people want to act like it's all about black men, but there were a lot of black women going on here saying this was corny. So this black woman put, Lord Jesus, my people will never be free, and this other black woman responded like, that was a shitty ass joke. And the first black woman goes, literally crickets. And um yeah, so she went in on her. She goes, yes, my joke is why you're enslaved. She got really, really mad. And um someone else called her out, and someone put bed wench comedy, and she goes, if I'm a bed wench, mind your business. What I do doesn't take any of the big black dicks you suck out of your mouth. People are like, is this more of your comedy? It's not even funny. But then she did this. She told someone, go die nigger, with the hard R. Um, yeah, so yeah, she started calling people like the hard R N word. And I mean, okay, that's a bit much. Like, what's that about? So actually, I'll put it up. I found the thing that was deleted. Here, this is better. So check this out. She goes, yes, my joke is why you're enslaved. And someone put, stop deleting tweets, LOL, bed wench. And I don't agree with name calling. I don't think you should call people bed wench. If you're going to, I don't know. And then she said them, go die nigger, with a hard R. And somebody put, you could have kept both tweets to yourself because the stuff she was tweeting was so bad. She goes, but I didn't. So what next? You don't like it? Then what? And someone goes, you're just annoying as F. And I thought I should tell you about it. Now bye. And you're a cunt. Glad we got it off our chat. She's calling black women cunts. And this is kind of what I was kind of saying, because people do not even like black women, right? Um, Yeah, but I was kind of surprised at the hard R stuff myself, but not really. I was surprised not that she did it, but that she had a blue check and had real writing jobs and did it and did the hard R. Like, I'm not surprised that she did it, but I just would have thought she would have done it from an alt. You know what I mean? An alternate account that didn't have her real name, and as she kept as she kept going, I mean, she just didn't care. I'm sure if a white person gets mad at her, especially a white person with power or a white person with a blue check, it kind of starts losing respect for her. She might start changing her stuff, but it's just black people, so she doesn't care. Uh, so she also said this. She said she retweeted her own tweet when people were like bashing her for, like, she's very mad that she's not funny, right? And she goes, "There are idiots pretending to take this joke seriously to get numbers and woke for retweets Black Twitter. I will have you know that I already fucked him and let him cream pie me. So there's a little Mackenzie Allen, Sandy Brent on the way. I hope this clears things up." So she's making cream pie jokes, like very vulgar humor, and of course it went badly. It was just not funny, like. But it was also like even more debasing, and So then people just started getting on her about that, and that just kept making her madder. Like she just could not stop to take her foot out of her mouth. It was pretty sad to see, but this isn't the first time she's done this. Another time she had this skit on Black Lady Sketch Show. That was like pretty unfunny. But nobody knew who she was or knew her name. It wasn't like people read the maker of the skit. They didn't know if it was a white person or a black person. They just said, "Damn, this is some really unfunny stuff." And then um, some white guy, I guess, took to the defense and said, of the show, people bashing the show in general. Some white guy was like, "I've only been able to see clips of a Black Lady Sketch Show, but just saw someone that said it must be written by white people." And then they continued. You can't see the whole tweet, but they're like, "Oh, I feel so bad that these strong black women aren't being supported." And I guess she saw it, and she's got used it as a chance to defend herself because one of her skits was one of the ones that was attacked. So she goes, "LOL, I saw one thing that said a thing I wrote was by a quote unquote suburban girl. I grew up in low income housing in East New York, Brooklyn until 17. I think for myriad reasons, black folk are wary of and can be harsh with people in art that feel unfamiliar to them and say quote unquote white when they mean quote unquote sci-fi." So she's basically saying that black people are too sheltered or whatever to be able to like her sketch, she's saying, was so sci-fi and futuristic and avant-garde that black people couldn't get it because they're too sheltered and they just like shucking and jiving humor, I guess. And when they see something that you know they say is unfunny or quote unquote white, what they really mean is sci-fi. So they say they don't even know the word sci-fi. They don't even have they're so sheltered, they don't even have the word for it. So I wonder what black people think when they see commercials for like Star Trek, or if they're like, "Hey, what's this thing? Is space real?" Like, like they don't know what sci-fi is. I mean, that's a weird take. If you ask me, that black people can't tell if something's funny and they don't know what sci-fi is. Like, I mean, the sketch I saw was marginally sci-fi. It was just not funny. I mean, it was had a scene, I think, with aliens in it at some point, but it had nothing to do with being sci-fi. I mean, black people loved um, Get Out. A lot of black people loved Get Out. That was fantasy. That was sci-fi. Even though it was horror, it still had a sci-fi element. And then she added this. All that is to say, variety seems to terrify certain black audiences. So, see, certain black audiences, they just can't take variety. Even though black people, when it comes to humor, I know a lot of black people who like Seinfeld, believe it or not. I know a lot of black people who like things like um, Rock, Living Single, Martin, Good Times, stuff without a laugh track. People like all types of humor in the black community. I just find it's weird, this idea that they only like one type of thing. She goes, all that's to say, variety seems to terrify certain black audiences who only grow up learning black comedy is only one way. And that's okay. But you not finding something funny doesn't mean I'm chasing the white gaze. It might just mean I'm black and I write jokes cleverer than you, smiley face. Yeah, I'm just too smart for you. I'm a special snowflake, you know? Oh, exactly, that special snowflakeism. And it reminds me of those Roxanne Gay tweets that I always like to showcase. Where she goes, "Just being the token makes you special. It means you're better than everyone else." I was like, "No, it's not that. You're just not a threat. And you're good at politicking." Yeah. So I mean, she's melting down. A lot of these people think they don't really need the black audience for their success, especially once they get their foot in the door. And to a certain degree, they might be right. But if you become too radioactive and openly anti-black, then you kind of don't really work as a diversity hire anymore, because part of the reason why people are hiring you is to kind of pretend that they're um, getting something authentic. And if you get too known or outed as somebody that the black community is hostile to, it ruins the liberal white hustle of getting, Negro whisperers. They have to kind of, yeah. So the only way it works is if you're gay or a woman and you can sell the idea that the reason the black community is not liking you is because of that pathological Pat Moynihan-ish black community's pathological sexism and homophobia. But she's being so toxic, she's not going to be able to plausibly say people are not liking her because she's a woman when she's dropping hard R's and calling other black women cunts. It's not going to work at all. So, yeah, I mean, it's a tacky look. And I don't know why she's doing it, but yeah, the hard R is very. At least do that from an alt. I have no idea. I have no idea what she's thinking. Oof. And also makes you, uh, yeah. So everybody is kind of roasting her. Uh, but yeah, she just is. She'll do any. She's just not. And I'll tell you what her skit was. If anybody wants to look up Black Lady Sketch Show and see what her sketch was, I'll see if I could find it. Yeah, I mean, I can't play it because I'll get taken down, but it had something to do with aliens, and I cannot find what her sketch was, but it had something to do with something with um, aliens. Just can't remember what it was. Sorry. I'm gonna look real quick. I mean, sure she's written on a bunch, but there was one in particular that was really, really over the top, and I just want people to look. It had something to do with people in a club. I think they were in a nightclub. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have it on hand and ready. The only thing I remember about it is that it ends with aliens coming down. And I think that's why she was trying to say people couldn't get it because of um sci-fi. Yeah, but there were a handful of people who got mad at me and other black people in the mentions, and were trying to kind of fight back on her behalf, and they were hitting us with like these corny gifs, and they were really unfunny themselves. And we were checking their bios to see, like, who is this person, why is this person so invested. And every time we looked, their bio would say comedian, and it's like, okay, so you're another one of these comedians of color that's just not funny, and it makes sense. Like you guys have to defend each other. You guys kind of have to take each other's sides. I get it. I can definitely get it, and that's what like I've been calling recently a mediocrity mafia. There's a mediocrity mafia out there, and the mediocrity mafia, they win when other mediocre people win because that gives them hope that they can get put on. So they get really happy when someone really unfunny or corny gets put on because it gives them hope their time is next. So they like that. But then on top of that, when someone unfunny gets attacked, they feel like they're being attacked. And they can only judge things by who's getting clout because, like I said, these people don't actually have a barometer for what's, which is ironic when you're getting a job in comedy, but they actually don't know what funny is. They have no idea. Like some people know something is unfunny, but they're actively lying and saying it is. But at least that person knows what's funny is not funny, and they have a hope of being funny in the future. Like they might be choosing to be unfunny just to kiss up to the right people or whatever, or they might be choosing to pretend something's funny because they're brown nosing. But picture if you actually are in comedy and actually have no idea what's funny. It's kind of like how when narcissists have no idea what proper emotions are, so they have to get context clues and figure out stuff. But a lot of times they're terrified all the time of being outed as being emotionally what's a good word, emotionally stupid, I guess, or emotionally um deficient. I think it's how these people are. They just kind of get comedy for clout, get into comedy for clout, or a way to get into show business. And stand up is hot, but they have no idea to know what's funny. Um, yeah, but you know what? I'm gonna pull it up right now. Yeah, people are asking for this clip that people are asking for. Let me put the clip. Yeah, I don't know what a hard art thing is. Yeah, but three people have asked for this clip, so I'm gonna put the clip up, and it's a good clip. It's better than me testing it. Let me tell you something. I will give Cardi B way more credit than these people. Like, and I'm not even a huge Cardi B people. Don't put Cardi B in this because you know what? Cardi B is good at what she does. You know what I mean? Like, these people are not as good as Cardi B. And like Cardi B is basically part of the influencerization of media, and she is not a real rapper. I will give her that. But at least when I see her Instagrams and stuff, she makes me laugh. She can be funny. Should be at the top of rap. I'll give her that. She has a lot of hustles that she shouldn't have, but if you see her Instagrams, if you see her on reality TV, she's funny. She says funny shit. She has timing. She has like I'll give it to her. First hustle, being an influencer. Like these people aren't even good at being influencers. They're not even good at their first hustle, much less everything they're trying to get into. Like, yeah. So yeah, and her following is organic. Like people genuinely liked her. She wasn't just picked up top from some white person who had no idea what people like and then pushed on people. Like people organically liked her Instagrams for better or worse. Like, and she had real following in the streets. Like real people in the streets just thought her IGs were funny, and she just kept parlaying that into bigger things. Like I except that she did overreach and now she's in hip hop and maybe shouldn't be in all these other lanes, or that she doesn't write her own rhymes and that's a decline of hip hop. But I mean, these people are a whole different level of mediocre in my thing. Yeah, I'm not getting on you. Like there is something to what you say. I'm just saying that these people are a whole level above her in mediocrity to the point that I don't want to make her the poster child for them. She, even she deserves better. That's all I'm saying. I'm not getting on you too hard, Ghost Reporter. I just wanted to just say that. But here's the clip that everyone's asking for. I just got it up, and thanks for reminding me of this because it's a good clip. But this guy explains it very well, and that's why all those people were getting in my mentions. And what's funny is they started getting roasted because people were like, "Wait, you're a comedian too? Like, like people were like, where are all these unfunny comedians coming from?" Here we go.
And we've let them into the comedy community, and we've allowed them in. And we've let them into the comedy community, and we've allowed them in. Because a lot of these people that write these ridiculous articles are part-time stand-ups, or they work in the business.
Oh, also, I did a recent YouTube live called Skills versus Shills Paradox. And this is kind of the same thing. Like, if anybody saw that, keep that in mind when watching this, because these people do have a skill, but their skill is just shilling. It's not an actual substantive skill.
And they've been received with open arms because there are a lot of comics out there that are not funny, and those people need press. And these people, these media types that do comedy sometimes have access to the press, and they write articles. But unfunny people are loyal to each other the way the mafia used to be. This is true. People that are not good at this band together. And I mean, they may be good at a million things. They may be good at networking. They may be good at marketing themselves. They may be good at capitalizing on whatever's out there.
And they are good at that. And that's what I was saying before about the skills versus shills thing. Like, but that's also ironically, this is what's ironic. They're good at the marketing and all that stuff because they almost have to market and sell themselves and schmooze extra hard to make up for their lack of actual skills at the day job, at what the supposed first job is. But it's also a chicken and egg thing, because then you start wondering, all that effort you're putting into the marketing and all that stuff, why don't you put that effort into your original hustle instead? And not just comedy, but say writing, acting, academia, whatever, because this mediocrity mafia thing is beyond just comedy, right? And so it's like it's kind of a vicious cycle. You have to shill extra hard because you're untalented at your supposed actual craft, but you also never develop in your craft because you spend all your energy shilling and self-promoting, and you keep yourself in that position of having to be the schmoozer. But I also think, because I said people have no actual sense of comedy, as in they have no actual ability to even, or taste for it, or knack for it, or instinct for it. Like, they don't actually have the brain to perceive it correctly. Like, they actually can't tell themselves what's unfunny or unfunny, the same way narcissists can't actually understand empathy. They have to kind of try to figure it out from context clues and fake it and whatever, and kind of look around at what other people are doing and seeing, everyone else is crying, I guess I'm supposed to cry. These people are like that with comedy. Like, they try to figure out what's funny by looking around and seeing, are people laughing at that? And I guess so. Now, so in their case, it might not even help to work on their craft because they don't have the tools to even perceive what works in their craft.
You know they're not funny. I know they're not funny. You can see it and feel it. Crowds tell them they're not funny. The things they do online are never funny. They're clever. Occasionally on Twitter, they can make a pun. It's funny. It's for a second. But it's not that real guttural laugh. The laugh that people spend decades trying to perfect their craft. The laugh that Patrice O'Neill got. The laugh that people like fucking Joan Rivers got. Those guttural fucking laughs, these people are not getting. They never will get them. And they're They're angry about that. That kind of pisses them off. But what they've done is they've built a career on everything but that, everything but funny. And in order to do that, you need other people who have your back. Go, no, they're great. What are you talking about? It's like the emperor has no clothes. All the emperors, any of the emperors, completely naked, walking around town. You need other people to go, yeah, absolutely. You look great. And you watch these trailers for these specials, and you say to yourself, you're like, oh, a lot of these people have talent, but it's not the kind that evokes laughter from a room full of people. It's not.
And this is a comedy, but I love that clip because it applies to everything. He's in comedy, so he sees it in comedy. But you look at these people who are on MSNBC panels and stuff, talk about politics. You look at these people who are in activism. You took all these people in writing TV shows and all this stuff, and it's all the same thing everywhere. They're the same version of that in all these different fields, you know. And I call it the influencerization of media, right? But oof, it's something. I'm looking now, and she's really going viral now. She's really going to go down with the ship. She's just gonna just keep tweeting. But that's kind of what he was talking about. That anger. They're really, really angry about that they can't crack it. I think it's part of the problem is you ever try to fix something about yourself, and no matter how you try to fix it, like you can't even tell what people are talking about. So you might even think you cracked it this time, and then you go a couple of weeks without hearing the critique, and then someone tells it to you again. You're like, damn. Then you start getting angry at the people who keep pointing it out to you, you know? Um, yeah, so it's pretty funny to keep seeing everybody's going in on her now, you know? Uh, People are just saying, you guys are weirdos. Um, you're getting on her about the hard R thing, and she's going to use it to feed into her persecution complex. Someone said you're a waste of scholarship. I guess she must have went to maybe a good school. I don't know. Yeah, she's getting really defensive. Somebody put, yeah, the more they are unfunny, somebody put this. Leslie Lee, friend of the show, tweeted this at her. She put, go die, N word. He goes, I don't even like you, but I hope you stop before you destroy the little career you got going. Oh, you don't like me? Who gives a F? They put be blessed. But yeah, I mean, yeah, she's just getting more and more defensive about it. Somebody said tweet search Ray Sani and black men on Twitter, and it's a lot. So let's see. Let's see what they're talking about. Sure, it's great stuff. Yeah, okay. She's just um, it's the usual stuff. I'm not surprised. I'm not even gonna bother highlighting it. It's just it's nothing out of the ordinary for a blue check. Yeah, but there was another example of someone, to give another example, right? A few days ago, another blue check did something similar, and I'll give this example. And she got roasted for it too, and then got really defensive. And again, it's that same weird. Somebody put like white penis must be like cocaine. Where these people uh, are willing to debase themselves over it. Like, got this person. This person's name is Ashley Ray, and she kind of was shown out for tweeting some crazy stuff about I think, black men in the past. But check this out. So this Ashley Ray person, Kiki Palmer, put up a video of herself kissing a white man, and um, it kind of went viral. And then this Ashley Ray person put this up. Well, I knew she liked white guys because, but only because we slept with the same white guy. So step off, my good sis. And that's kind of like, okay, that makes no sense. As in, why would you, having slept with the same white guy that she did, be a reason for people to step off her? Like, if a bunch of people were in their mentions going at her for something, rightly or wrongly, let's say it was wrong for them to go at her. The reason they'd be wrong is like, hey, love is love. People have a right to love who they want. She didn't say anything bad about black men. She has a right to date who she wants, and maybe they just found love. Like, those are the reasons to say to step off. But what she said made no sense. She said, I knew she liked white guys, but only because we slept with the same white guy. So step off, my good sis, which then implies that people should leave her alone because the reason they were mad at her or upset with her is because they were worried that you didn't know that she liked white guys. Like, is that the reason? Like, letting people know, hey, it's okay, guys. I knew she dated white guys. Like, okay, that makes no sense. And is it because they were worried that, oh man, um, this white guy she's kissing, I don't know if he'd sleep with Ashley Ray. Oh, wait, Ashley Ray slept with the same white guy? Oh, yeah, in that case, I'm stepping off her. Like, it makes zero sense. The real reason she put this is because, A, she wants people to know that she can get a white guy, right? And B, in case you think I only get white guys that are slumming, or white guys that nobody wants, I want you to know that hot ass Kiki Palmer, I can sleep with white guys that like Kiki Palmer. Like, I get high quality white guys. That's what she's doing. Someone said this about Ray Sani, and that's exactly what it is. Like, she's doing humor for white people and other black blue checks, and meanwhile these inferiors are clowning her and making her look bad in front of, yeah. So, I mean, this makes no sense. It doesn't make sense. It's not even a good joke. There's no actual logic to what this woman's saying, right? And it's so corny. And people are not stupid. People grasp that, and that's why people started kind of clowning her, because they're like, what are you even talking about? What does this have to to do with this? It makes no sense what you're saying. um yeah, so yeah, I mean, it's a weird thing. I don't get it. I do not understand it at all. And of course it backfired because there was no joke there was no sense there. But as usual, she got roasted, and she did that defensive thing that you know these people these people do. She got really defensive about it. So this is what came next. She deletes the tweet when she goes, if y'all can't laugh at this, I'm sorry for you. It is objectively hilarious. People are shocked she's kissing a white man when it's not news. And it's like, okay, people are cracking on your joke, not, about, and also, like, why is it objectively hilarious that people are shocked she's kissing a white man when it's not news? And why does she think it's not news that she likes white men. Like, she thinks somehow because she knows that she likes white men, which she only knows because of some inside baseball of her having slept with the same white man. Does she think people are that into her business? Like, she's that famous? Like, people know? Like, everyone's like, oh, we all knew because we all know that she slept with the same guy Ashley Ray slept with. Like, I mean, that's again, and you can't say why these people are not funny because the jokes don't even make sense. They don't make a basic sense. Oof. Yeah. So someone says this. I don't know what this means. Is it mean this? You want to like this? There's limits to what I can do. I don't know if this improves what you're talking about. So then she adds, "Are y'all mad?" Said she likes white men. He's like, no, they're saying you're not funny. That I truly don't understand the outrage, and I've joked about this many times. And it's he's saying she can't tell why people are mad. That's what I'm saying. These people can't. They actually don't have the tools to tell funny. So it's like, so people are kind of like that. You're bringing up stuff that's irrelevant and it's corny. It's just a corny look. Like, what are you even talking about? You just, um, it's cringy. But she can't get it. So she's like, she's actually in real time trying to feel out what humor is. He goes, "Are y'all mad I said she likes white men?" Which is not why they're mad, because they clearly see that, she likes this white guy. That's not what they're mad about. In your tweet, I truly don't understand the outrage, and I have joked about this many times. Do y'all need me to say that the white guy in question sucked? Because he did. This is not a brag. Yes, it is. Y'all are weird. No, you're weird. Like, you guys, we both slept with the loser. I am not bragging about sleeping with the white man. The sensitivities, LMO, and then this is what was funny though. Somebody, and I don't know, people are so good with pulling up these receipts. Oh, this movie aspect ratio bars, I can't I can't fix it. Oh, the resolution is rough. I don't know what to do about that, unfortunately. If I'm not on the PC. Yeah, the black bars, I don't know what to do with, but tell me if this improves it. Um, let's see. So she's there's this comedy show that travels the country and stuff. It's called Black Chicks and Pink D's, and it's run by this comedy collective called Clever Black Girl. And turns out she was a guest on this thing. So it's basically a traveling show with a bunch of regular comics and guest comics, and every single show they go on and talk about their love for Pink D. So it's Black Chicks and Pink D. So somebody pulled up that she's done this show, like, kind of adds my thing, like the idea that it's so popular that there's an actual traveling ongoing comedy show for years with this theme. And I looked, and it goes different cities and different places, and it does pretty well. Yeah, I don't know. So basically, what I'm trying to wonder is, why is this so considered so funny? Does anybody actually know someone who finds this funny? Somebody must, for these people to keep doing it, to get blue checks, to get elevated, to get writing jobs. But yeah, I don't know. Yaku said, "I'm not invested enough in these people to follow them this way. T needs an intervention." Yeah, maybe. I mean, you don't have to watch the videos, but to me, I think these people are becoming unavoidable. Like, you may not want to follow them, but Tiffany Haddish is coming into your screens. She's A-list. Like, whether you follow them or not, this humor, the amount of things that you have to actively do to avoid it is becoming more and more. Like, Saturday Night Live is a super mainstream regular show. You don't have to dive into the depths of Twitter, you know, to find it, but the humor's there. Tiffany Haddish and all her press appearances, if you look at her headlines where she's talking about who she's thirsting for, you can just casually live your life and find it. And the thing is, these things hit the big level because they bubble up on the small levels. Yeah, that's the thing with a lot of people. They want to think, oh, if I just ignore things, then the thing goes away. But that's not really how things work. Like people, eventually the thing ends up becoming the new normal, and it becomes, that's how propaganda works. Propaganda starts small and then it ends up getting big. Same with Hamilton, right? Someone put Hamilton. There was a news story that came out. I'm gonna give you an example. When Hamilton started, someone said, "Hey, why do you care about that? You know, you need intervention. I'm not invested enough. I'm too cool to follow these people." But Hamilton leads to things like, to me, it leads to things like slave play, right? And now someone says, "I don't care about slave play. What does it matter?" It goes from off Broadway to Broadway, and people say, "T, you're too obsessed. So why do you care? You need an intervention." Key. 12 Tony nominations, the most for a new play ever, leads to a whole bunch of other shows being greenlit with all these weird self-debasing themes. You got Lovecraft Country with all this weird stuff going on, and it's like the pot with the frog in it with the boiling water. And there's a story about a frog, and it says if you put the frog in boiling water and you turn it from 0 to 100 real quick, the frog's going to jump out. But if you turn up the heat on the frog really slowly in the boiling water, supposedly the frog will stay in the boiling water and just let itself cook, right? So that's what propaganda is. Like, you'll be in a pot of boiling water before you even know it. So I'm going to give another example of, like, with the Hamilton thing, right? So with Hamilton, this thing came out. Jodie Turner Smith will play Queen Anne Boleyn in a series, and racists are big mad. And this idea, this is how you're gonna stick it to racists by casting a black woman as a white woman. And what that basically does is it normalizes the idea that black people and their history and their stories don't matter. The highest praise or thing for a black person to do is the highest thing for a black person to do is to get the chance to play white icons and white history. Like, our history doesn't matter, our past doesn't matter, our lives don't matter. We just we don't matter until we get a chance to be bootleg white people. So people were kind of saying this, right? People were saying this. And a lot of people are kind of catching on to this. They're like, I don't want to be part of this alternate universe that liberals think is progress. Too many black stories that can be African stories that can be told for black folks to be inserting themselves into white history, right? And it was I was pleasantly surprised at all the people who were kind of really um sticking up about this. And I feel like the tide is kind of turned. Someone added, it's embarrassing, rather than tell our story, they, as in these type of black people and the press and the black press, like Shadow and Act, they'd rather be inserted into their story. And the guy answered, we know why. I saw a lot of people saying stuff like this, and somebody this in there, they put, it's not diversity, it's control. They do this to make black women think in order for them to be happy, they have to be incorporated into a minor role in white society. That's why there are so many black women in Hollywood and online that worship um, white men. It's a brainwash technique. And of course, somebody hops in. And if you look at her profile, like black nerd, goth, metalhead, sapiophile, bibliophile, and one of those weird ass profiles, you go, of course, here comes the whole teppery, which has nothing to do with the topic at hand. There's just no way a black woman could ever find a non-black man attractive unless it's brainwashing. I want all roles open to black women, especially dark-skinned black women. Eh, You know, um, but she turns around and says, and while I'm curious to see what Turner Smith does with Anne Boleyn, I'd love to see more stories set in ancient Africa. So what are you talking about? Why are you even upset then? But it's that same kind of knee-jerk thing that happens where people just like, what's so great about playing Anne Boleyn anyway? That a black person should be so happy. I mean, she gets her head cut off. I mean, she didn't stand up for any great causes. She was just an opportunist that got to marry a king and played court politics and got killed. Like, I was very big into British monarchy stuff. I used to like reading about it. And Anne Boleyn is not a feminist icon. Like, she's not some, like, she's just well known. She's iconic, but she's not something that a white person should really, yeah. And the whole, yeah, transracial casting, that'll really show those racists. And the only racists that get mad at that are like the powerless low level whites. Like the high level white racists, they're fine with it, um same with black women. Why not just create a new character? Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to do that. But this was something that I found pretty interesting, right? This is the last thing I'll say, and then I'll end. um right. And the reason why I think this matters is because if you care about black art, even as a patron, like, you're not gonna get it. If you like, I mean, if you're just happy just watching old black art, which you might be, because there's a lot of good black art out there that in a lifetime you could probably never watch all the good black art that's been made. But if you want a new generation to come out, it's being crowded out. But on top of that, it's not being incentivized. Like, new people coming up, these new kids coming up, they're not stupid. They're gonna look at the writing on the wall and see this is what they have to do to make it. These people are gonna become their film school teachers, their media teachers, their mentors, their whatever, and they're gonna be shepherded into this. It's going to become the new normal. But someone said, yeah, and now that it's safe, and that's what I find interesting, that somehow it was unsafe to say. Now that it's safe, Hamilton is trash and an embodiment of this weird obsession of wanting to be white. And it's kind of funny because when I was first talking about it, everybody was saying I was making a big deal about nothing, but it keeps growing. And it's the new normal. Now people are saying stuff like, oh, well, now that it's safe, maybe it was trash. But what I want to know is, why was it ever quote unquote unsafe? That to me is weird. Why was it going to happen if you brought it up back then? You know? So yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty interesting that it was somehow unsafe. So yeah, I mean, nobody forces anybody to listen to anything. So if I focus on this stuff too much, like, by all means, eh, just don't look at it. Just don't watch those videos. As soon as you see me talking about it, hit X, hit, you know, abort. That's fine. I would not ever force anyone to listen to anything. I just always wonder why people have to just keep throwing that in, like, why is T looking at this? What? T drive is crazy. Like, that's my choice. I think it's important. Like, yeah, and I respect everyone focusing whatever they think is important. And yeah, that's basically it. Everybody be good. Kenny and I are doing a show on music, and we're gonna do it on what do you call it? Twitch. Yeah, so people go on Twitch, listen to the show we're gonna do tonight, because on YouTube there's no way we can do this. It'll get copyright struck immediately. So yeah, twitch.tv/champagne sharks. In anticipation of it, you should sign up for an account. Actually, I don't think you have to sign up for an account. You can have no account and just put this to the address bar, and you will be taken there. We'll probably start for 5 minutes on YouTube just to remind people to go over there, and that'll be that. All right. So everybody be good. Everyone have a good one. Take care. Appreciate you spending your afternoon with us.